What did you say?
I called you cheap because that's what I think of you.
Who do you think you're talking
cheap,
to?
tacky little tramp who every week becomes less and less.
Flaccid.
Watch what you say, Melon. I don't have to take this anymore. I don't have to take this any longer.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. They say that a photo is worth 1,000 words, so then what is a movie worth? What about a video? Film from a cell phone in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, of two presidents and one wannabe president walking into a fire hall. What about this interesting video yesterday, where you have arguably the three most powerful individuals in America, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump, all walking in to the same fire hall. Let's go ahead and have a listen and see exactly how they're greeted. There's Joe and Communist Camilla. I don't hear nothing.
There he is.
Wow. There's the guy with the hat. Hey, what do you know? Dems would hate if you shared this. You can't have Donald Trump's newest supporter out campaigning with him after all. I mean, Joe Biden just like straight up went over to people with MAGA hats and with shirts that called him Dumb and Dumber on them and had Trump sign them. Here's Joe Biden greeting a kid with a Dumb and Dumber shirt with it says Joe Biden on the middle. According to the kids, according to this boy's mother, who actually we know her, and she's been a guest on the show before. Joe Biden said, "I guess I'm dumber." Yeah, well, maybe Joe Biden is actually smart for the first time in his career. As Joe Biden dons his MAGA hat, perhaps there's a reason behind it all. Perhaps there's a little more method to the madness. You know, I mean, one, it's probably not a great idea to put on your opponent's swag when you are running in a neck-and-neck race for the White House. But it's even worse when her polls are collapsing. National poll, Kamala Harris's 5-week lead evaporates. After leading the polls and poll after poll for 5 weeks, Kamala Harris has seen her lead against former President Trump evaporate into a tie. This is what effectively every single poll is showing right now. Starting on August 6th, the border czar enjoyed a consistent lead of the Economist YouGov left-wing national poll. Registered voters, that lead is now gone. Kamala is now effectively within the margin of error, right? They're tied. They're tied in all swing states, and Donald Trump even has slight edges in some polls, and we'll get into that in just a second. The latest Economist YouGov poll taken in September, among 1,600 registered voters, the race is all tied up at 45%. This is very much in line with other recent polling. Sure, the vice president lead is faded and is vanishing to President Trump. Oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very interesting when you actually look at the reactions from independents and Democrats. What you'll see is that the independents end up traveling with the Republicans on every talking point. The yellow is, of course, the independents, red are the Republicans. And you can see the independents are mathematically and algorithmically interlocked with Republicans on these issues because the Democrat Party has abandoned independents entirely and have gone extremist far left. Independents tracked roughly in line with Republicans. Trump won the debate, end of discussion. All we have to do is chase ballots. Everything else is just noise. People saying that Trump is getting agitated and mad was bad. Americans are agitated and mad, and a lot of people are saying that. Rasmussen now out with their poll showing that it is a tie. Here we go. Once again, it is a tie nationally. There you go. You have slight Trump leads. You have Kamala leads. And now the race is back to tied. President Trump is hitting the road again. Kamala Harris also, but Kamala Harris with the endorsement of Taylor Swift. How much did that matter? Patrick David has a really great breakdown on this. How much does the impact of Taylor Swift's endorsement really have? Let's do the math. Her Instagram followers, she has 284 million Instagram followers. Total number of people she drove to vote.gov is 300,000. That's the conversion rate of 0.0012%. This is a very, very bad conversion rate. However, there's a couple of questions we have to ask. What percentage of the 300,000 were already going to vote Democrat versus swing voters? Where were these voters? Probably from New York and California and Illinois. This makes me want to go a step deeper. Of the 332,000, how many of them were people who would actually be impacted by Taylor Swift? 5%? That's 16,000. Then we have to ask how many of those were from battleground states? Arizona, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. What's their total combined population of those states? So that's 14%. So it's 14%, 16,000. That's 2,000 people. You get the idea. There's a big miss. The opportunity of timing of the endorsement. Doing it after the first debate looked desperate. It looked desperate. It looked sad. And there are things that are, quite frankly, not in the control of Democrats. Like, for instance, their dumbass fact checks of things that are factual. Like, for instance, missing animals in Springfield, Ohio. Like, these are things that have been reported that do have police reports tied to them. Donald Trump brought it up. It's now trending all over TikTok. Marianne Williamson, who is somebody who ran for president, is a far left-winger, saying continuing to dump on Trump because the eating cats issue will blow back. Haitian voodoo is real. Dismiss this out-of-hand story rather than to listen to the citizens of Springfield, Ohio, confirms the mind that many voters stereotype Democrats as smug elite jerks who think they're too smart to listen to anybody outside of their own silo. This is precisely what some Democrat and some people that I think are particularly smart, I think Charlamagne the God is a particularly smart commentator on this stuff. He definitely reads the room, is saying about Joe Biden. Saying like Joe Biden going and putting on a MAGA hat right after this debate, Joe Biden going and doing this, like this is really reckless and really stupid and makes our party look like it's in shambles. Watch.
Donald Trump would never. Okay. A day after your vice president has a phenomenal debate against the former president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, you, Mr. President, decide to put on a hat that says Trump 2024. Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but that doesn't seem like a show of support for your vice president to me. This race is going to be tight. Okay? This race can be swung by just the tiniest fraction of votes. Why is the sitting president, would you wear a hat in support of a person who is the op of your running mate? You, President Biden, you call him a threat to democracy. Okay, if he's a threat to democracy, why are you wearing paraphernalia that supports him being president in 2024? You said you did it as a gesture of unity. You can't call someone a threat to democracy and then wear their paraphernalia. Okay, nobody who opposed Nazis would ever wear something with a swastika on it. And President Biden not only wore it, he took a picture in it. Now that picture is all over social media. It's going to be in TV commercials, digital ads. Donald Trump's campaign immediately, as you heard in the news report, thanked Joe for the support. Another post from them said, Kamala did so bad in last night's debate, Joe Biden put on a Trump hat. This is why you got to keep Joe Biden in the basement. Right? We not going back.
This coupled with the reality that independents time and time again have shown that Trump won the debate. The debates are not for Republicans. Republicans are going to vote for Trump. They're not for Democrats. Democrats are going to vote for Kamala Harris. Generally, somewhat. Plenty of Democrats probably vote for Trump. Well, and anyone who's in the working class should absolutely vote for Trump. Obviously, your life was way better. But the people who are undecided are breaking for Trump 2-1. That's unattainable. That's unsustainable. Really incredible. And Nate Silver remains with a 60% margin for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris at 38%. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? 57% of the people saying no. Yes, says 37%. Who exactly is better off than they were? What 30%? 37%? Who exactly would those people be? Or were all of them Taylor Swift? So every single one of these people working inside of like a military industrial complex job? Who are all of them Pfizer executives? Who is better off than they were 4 years ago? Explain that to me. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the coverage. It's very important about like what independents had to think about Donald Trump on the most important issues like the economy. Watch.
Let's get right to it now. We are going to play clips from last night's debate. Lee has showed them to a group of voters who responded in real time using handheld dials. And you can watch their feelings second by second. And the red line represents Republicans, the blue Democrats, and the yellow independents. We'll begin with the issue that polls overwhelmingly show is voters' top concern, the economy. Let's watch together.
So Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession.
It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done. They've destroyed the economy.
Well, one of the things I noticed right away there, Lee, is that the blue line started to flatten and not dip so low down on that last one. He gets where people are.
He gets where people are in the economy. And that was a really interesting takeaway for me last night. I didn't expect to see independents tracking so much with Republicans last night, and they did. They wanted to hear the meat on the economy. They wanted to hear the plan. And while most of the voters that we spoke with agreed stylistically with Kamala, they said that she sort of performed better than he did on substance, on the issues on economy and immigration. They really resonated with him, and that was really what we were talking to a lot of the independent voters, and we saw that right there with that line.
So, Alexandria, you were formerly an independent. You're now a Republican. Can you speak to the issue why those two would track in your mind?
Absolutely. So I also just graduated college. I'm looking into the job market. I'm looking into the economy of housing prices, cost of food. And for me, at this point, it's not really about which candidate is the most poised or which candidate I like the most. It's about what the next 4 years will look like. And I do think that the economy under Trump was a lot stronger.